Hey YouTube, Joe here with another, I guess you can't say a flashlight overview. This would be a flashlight multifunction tool overview from my friends over at gearbest.com. They label it as a multifunction flashlight security tool. And as I said, it's from GearBest. If you go to their site, I'll give you the link. I think they're selling it now for, what was it again? $8.46 shipped. Now this is the box it came in. Nothing extra fancy, just the box, and it was a plastic covering, a bubble wrap. But nice box, especially for something that's $8.46. It had a sleeve with it, and it came in there. So let's take a look at the device. Here it is. So I'm going to take you around it. Let's measure it up. Some thoughts, what I think about it. First, let's get the measuring part out of the way. Let's put it against the dollar. There you go. You can see it takes up pretty much the whole length of the dollar. Let's get rid of the dollar. Let's put it against the ruler. There it is against the ruler. And what the heck, I'll put it against one knife. I just recently reviewed the Kershaw Intellect. I'll put the review for the Intellect down in my description if you're interested in checking that out. Another new offering from Kershaw for 2016. So let's go over some devices, what it does and what it doesn't do. So first of all, what does it have? It has multifunction tools here, kind of like, your Wenger, your Victorinox, two different screwdrivers, a bottle opener, scissors, and a knife. Here it has the seatbelt cutter. Here there's a button to eject. Let me do it this way. This button ejects the glass breaker. And what else? Oh, and of course your standard flashlight. So now the light takes three AAA batteries, and it comes in one of these devices, kind of like I think the Through Night flashlight I showed you. So you could check the link for that, the Through Night, but obviously different batteries. This is a different size flashlight, but the same idea, where they put the batteries in a container and then the container goes in the flashlight. Okay, so we're going to get back to that in a minute. I have something to discuss about that. So let's take you around it some more. I can't think of the terminology for standing it up on a thing. You can't do that if you wanted to, because the end is rounded. To me, that's not a deal killer, because in the history of using flashlights, I'd never really had a need to hold the flashlight up like that, standing up. I'm sure people that go out camping and all that good stuff all the time, they might find a need for it, but I have not yet have a need for it. Now it's made basically of plastic, and I guess this is metal. I mean, it feels like metal, it sounds like metal. So now let's go over some things. Now I'm not going to pull out all the knives, because I have used them. I mean, all the tools I have used, and I'm going to go over them. But let's start with the flashlight. First, let's dim these bad boys. Has a couple of different settings. I mean, there is going to have one, as you can see. Now, I'll say this before I get to my likes and don't likes. Don't be fooled by this concentrated area right here of light. So I'm going to get to one of my negatives right off the bat. Here, by the concentrated look, it does appear to have a nice, deep, full light. However, the spectrum of light, once you shine it from far away, is very spread out. Now, please keep in mind, though, this is coming from somebody that has moved on from $8.46 flashlights to, $40, $50, $100 flashlights. And so it's tough to really say, you know, because you got to keep in mind, anything I say negative or pro about this is $8.46. So getting to one of the negatives, I found that the light, when you're like, say you're going out something simple, taking out your dogs in the dark, or you know, going for a walk, I found the light to be very dissipated. You know, yes, a concentrated area like this, yes, it does seem bright. Now, I do like that on the, you know, it has a couple of modes. It has a dim mode, a high mode. I like that the emergency mode also shines this light around the side red. I like that. So let's put the lights back on. Now, since we're already getting into likes and don't likes, let me list some few. I'm probably not going to go in order like I usually do. A little different. I'm just probably going to rattle them off as I go. I'll try to keep it consistent. So what I do like, obviously I like the price. You know, for $8.46 to have a multifunction tool, to have a seat cut, you know, emergency seatbelt cutter, a glass breaker, a flashlight, all in one thing for $8.46 is nice. You know, it's good to know. Instead of reaching for 5 different things, boom, emergency, I got it, I'm ready to roll. Again, like I said, I like the price. Of the tools, I've tried to use them all. The negative, I'll say it off the bat, the knife is useless. The knife is extremely dull, and if you can imagine trying to sharpen a little knife like that, I mean, yes, it is possible, but I can just see it being very difficult, especially in this configuration and being in a handle of a device and a very small little knife. The scissors work very well. The other devices, they work not too bad, but the negative about the whole setup here is I found it very difficult to get these out to use. It's not that they're hard to pull on. It's hard because you know, some cheaper made multifunction tools are so stiff from, you know, where they're connected that it's impossible to pull out. That's not the case here. They're not that stiff here. It's just that it's just so receded that it's tough to get at. Now, I did something crazy. My nails happened to be a little bit longer the other day, so I tried doing it with my nails a little bit longer, and it was hard that way. So now I have cut my nails since then, and it's even more difficult to get the items out. So in reality, when you really need this tool, and what good is a tool if you need a device and you can't get at it? I mean, yes, you can get at it, but it's not as easy as I would like it to be. So that's another negative. I said the scissors work very well. Let's see. Now, getting back to the light, I feel in some aspects it's cheaply made, and I'll say why. Now, I mentioned a through night earlier, having this same idea where it goes in here and, you know, where you could put it either way. That's fine. But with that light, this fit firmly. So there was no, as you know, if you could tell, you see how it moves. Now, when I first put this in, believe it or not, it didn't work. So I started. I thought maybe because, you know, sometimes in lights like this they stick a little, you know, like a little extra circular cone device to. I mean, I wasn't thinking at the time. That's usually when a light might use 2 different batteries. So I thought, oh, maybe there's a cone or something in here. And I was almost breaking it. That's how easy it was to pull this out. And as you can see, it's coming out right now. I could easily break this like with no effort whatsoever. So I put that back in. I put the battery back in and had to play with it actually a few times the first time around just to get it to work. So I do not like that this is loose like that. If anything, they should have made the plastic that that holds the batteries a little firmer so that it stays nice and compact. But no, it doesn't. It moves around. And maybe that was just the first time using it I had that issue. I have since screwed it in a few other times and it's worked okay, but I don't know, I just don't like that. I just feel that what would it have taken to create the flashlight to make it be so that, you know, this is not loose like that. So that's one thing. Let's see. As I said, the light. I already mentioned that about the light. So let me repeat myself. I mentioned about it being cheaply made. The batteries. The knife is useless. Hard to get the tools out. So, but again, one has to think, what are you paying for this light? You're paying $8.46 to have the convenience of having all this put together. Now, if you're not a flashlight aficionado, if you're not a knife person that has to have, or even a multi-tool person that has to have Victorinox or has to have Wenger, then this will be fine for you. This is perfect for you because you're going to have a little bit of everything. You're going to have, the light. You're going to have the emergency tools. You're going to have this. Your multifunction. A little bit of everything. So it's all at your fingertips, all for $8.46. But if you're a person like me who likes your Wengers, likes your Victorinoxes for your multifunction tools, likes your through nights and your night cores for your flashlights, you're going to be disappointed with this. It's just not something for you. As I said, I question the way it's made, the way it's manufactured. It could have been a little bit better with the light. It could have been a little bit better with the multi-function tool. But other aspects of it is good. Like I said, it's convenient. It has everything you need all in one nice little package. So in all, for my personal likes, I would not buy this tool because I have all the mini things. I have the higher end flashlights. I have the Victorinoxes and the Wengers. But someone who's not into all that, just wants something all in one package, wants to buy the device, throw it in their mailbox, yeah, in their glove compartment in their car. This is a good buy. Nothing's that bad to not want it, especially for $8.46. Now, if this was $20, $25, $30, this is definitely not a no-go. So that's my take on it. There's one more look around, so you can hear it shaking in there. Now let me see, is it working? Yeah, see, it is working. So I did get unlucky. You might say, oh, come on, Joe, it's working, what the heck, right? But I still feel that it could have been manufactured so that stays nice and tight. There's no need for that to be loose like that. And that's what I feel. So there it is in my hands. Show you in there. Nice feel in the hands too. So there you have it. Zoom in for the final shot. Let's make sure we get it all in there. So this is the multifunctional flashlight security tool, and it's from my friends over at gearbest.com. Check them out. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, and I hope you enjoyed the video.